It seems like the internet right now is very split. Half of gamers are extremely angry, half of them are kind of chill, but we just finished watching the Nintendo Direct. This was a 50-minute presentation showcasing a bunch of stuff coming soon to the Nintendo Switch, and I watched it. It was certainly a doozy of a time, but I want to try and break things down and try to give you some of my opinions on it. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Now let's just start off with the fact that this is the first time we've had a full-blown Nintendo Direct in almost 2 years. It might not seem like it, but somebody's been keeping count. It's been 540 days since we had a general Nintendo Direct. While there have been some partner showcases and little times where they showed off some indie games, this is almost 2 years since we just had Nintendo come on screen and say, hey, here's what's coming next, here's why you should be hyped. But what's strange is that a lot of people seem to be disappointed by it. I saw a lot of people saying that this presentation was so full of anime games like Neon White, Famicom Detective Club, or even the Smash Bros. DLC with the Xenoblade character Pyra. I didn't hate it. I just want to say that right here at the start, I actually enjoyed certain aspects of this a bunch, and let's break that down. Let's start off with the most interesting part of this, and perhaps the thing that confused me the most. This year is, of course, the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. People kind of expected that we would get a Zelda collection, much in the way that we got the Mario collection. It seems like an obvious choice. Not only is Zelda getting bigger and more popular than ever, but Breath of the Wild itself is something that's just a huge juggernaut. So to me, I kind of assumed the safest bet is that we would see an HD collection release for something like Wind Waker and something like Twilight Princess. Mostly because not only are these games exceptionally good, but they've already got HD remakes. On the Nintendo Wii, they did full-blown redoings of them and actually even corrected some of the errors and problems with the game itself. Well, guess what? That ain't happening. Instead, we are getting only one HD Zelda game this year, and surprisingly, it is Skyward Sword. Now, Skyward Sword has always been a very controversial Zelda in general anyways, because it was so heavily reliant on motion controls. Basically, the way you would move your Wiimote back in the day, it would make it where you could tactically slice people to little smithereens. And while I thought it was good back then, I was very nervous that when it returned, it would still have those semi-clunky controls. Well, they've confirmed this HD remake is not only getting new graphics, better resolution, but additionally, an all-new control style. Now, the way they decided to solve it is, if you choose to do so, it's possible to pop your Joy-Con off and waggle it around to your heart's content. But if you choose to play it with buttons, as I am going to do for sure, what they did is, the game is very centered on the idea of the direction you slash and why that's important. The way they're going to adapt that is the right Joy-Con. This is now going to basically be Link's arm, and this will control Link's body. Now, this is definitely an interesting way to try and solve it, but I guess, to be quite honest, I am disappointed that we're not getting more Zelda out of this. I was hoping to see a trailer for Breath of the Wild 2, a teaser for something upcoming, and instead we're just getting one of the weirder games from the series coming back. I guess I'm still happy about it, but man, I wish we were getting some other Zeldas with it. Something that was definitely a beautiful surprise to this was the Joy-Cons for Legend of Zelda. Now, personally, I'm completely obsessed with the color purple. These look fantastic. I'm definitely freaking buying these. I'm definitely going to be playing them a lot, and even though I'm kind of harping on Skyward Sword, of course I'm going to be grabbing that as well. But let's move on to some of the stuff that people seem to have hated. I definitely saw some people that were very angry about some of the indie games that were being shown off. Some of the stuff, like, it just didn't look great. There was a game that I've already forgotten the name of that looked like a dodgeball battle royale. It had all sorts of weird orcs and soldiers and princesses. That definitely didn't look for me. There was a DC Girl Power game, which, I guess that looks fine. It was definitely directed towards children under the age of 10. One that definitely caught my eye because it was just so weird was Miitopia is coming back. Miitopia has existed before, but this is an RPG where you make Mii characters and they hang out, and by being bros, they just get stronger. The game is not particularly great, but something that did catch me off guard. I'm a little bit of a Nintendo sports hater. Like, what I mean by that is that I just don't really care for sports game in general, so even though I definitely can appreciate things like Mario Strikers, which is the soccer game, or Mario Tennis, I don't typically buy them because I just don't care. I'm just not a sports guy in general. Well, they showed off a new Mario Golf game called Super Rush, and I might actually get it. I can't believe I'm saying I'm going to buy a freaking golf game in 2021, but basically what makes this different is while it is of course still a golf game, it's going to have some sort of like extended single player RPG where we can go around and collect items and level up a character of our own, and that seems kind of goofy and fun. There are also these like weird modes, like one of them is called like speed golf. Everybody is just doing everything at once. Everybody's on the field, everybody is golfing as fast as they can, and then physically running across the course to try and get to their ball first. That looks great. Just basically the way is that the less like golf something is, the more interested I am in it, as little as that makes sense. Now I want to talk about the two games that blew my mind the most. The things that got me so hyped. When I was streaming my reaction to this direct, I absolutely lost it. The first one being Project Triangle Strategy. Now, I absolutely loved freaking Octopath Traveler. I think Octopath Traveler seriously is one of the best RPGs I've played in the last couple of years. It's turn-based, it's classic, it's pixelated. It sort of reminds me of like if you came out of a time capsule and you tried to make your own imagination version of Final Fantasy VI. It is so freaking good. It's so faithful to the roots of classic 16-bit fun, but simultaneously, it feels like an advancement of that. And now they're making another game. Well, instead of calling it Octopath this time, it's called Project Triangle Strategy, and it seems like the idea behind this is that it's going to be copying Final Fantasy Tactics or Ogre Tactics, those classic turn-based strategy games where you're moving around a course and trying to outmaneuver your opponents. And to be perfectly clear, this looks like such a 10 out of 10 experience. It looks like such a freaking blast. And additionally, they've announced that they're launching a demo. I'm going to be downloading that demo as soon as I'm done editing this video because I want to play it. I'm probably going to make a video. I'll make you a deal. If this video somehow gets 2,000 likes, I'll do a dedicated video talking about the Project Triangle demo. But it looks really great. Something that really caught my mind in the trailer was the fact that there is these dialogue options that let you actually pick your way, like through diplomatic situations, negotiations between kingdoms, battlefield talks, like a lot of stuff like that that's seemingly going to affect the grander play of the game. It looks so fantastic. I'm definitely going to be buying that, but the downside is the game is releasing in 2022, so it's definitely off on the horizon. Much like the other game that got me so hyped, Splatoon 3. Now, some of you don't know this, but my most played, my Nintendo Switch game that I've played more than any other is Splatoon 2. I've put hundreds of hours into that, being a squid kid, inking people, unlocking silly costumes, unlocking all the guns and stuff. I think Splatoon 2 is so freaking fun. It's the ultimate drop in, drop out, co-op craziness. And they're making a Splatoon 3. I am doing my very best not to scream with hype, but trust me when I say that this is absolutely legit. This being in 2022 again, I wish that they showed more stuff that was coming soon, because now I have to sit here hyped for something that's not coming out for months and months and months. Hopefully it doesn't get pushed. If this ends up coming out like winter 2022, that is going to be a very long wait. Now, the last game I want to talk about here is one that kind of caught me off guard because I didn't really expect it to be so amazing looking. Now, let's face facts. This direct had some boring parts. There were sections of this that were just filled with games that I'm never going to buy, I'm never going to play, I'm never even going to care about. But one that definitely looked great was No More Heroes 3. Now, I don't really consider myself to be the biggest fan of No More Heroes. I've beaten all the games, they're decent, but they're not the kind of thing that stick in my imagination. No More Heroes 3 though, it looks so imaginative. I've always loved that these games manage to combine together weird mini games with over-the-top action and crazy boss fights. No More Heroes 3 looks to be the perfect jump from No More Heroes 2. I'm definitely on board for it, and it's coming relatively soon. A lot of these games look good, but I guess I'm most excited for the stuff that feels like it's going to be a great sequel. The DLC is fine. Smash getting another character that has a sword, whatever. Oh great, there's more DLC coming to Age of Calamity. Okay, that's fine. To me, what gets me the most excited is when basically Nintendo comes out and says, oh, did you love this ice cream? Here's a lot more of it. But what do you think? Have you had a chance to watch the hour-long Nintendo Direct? Were you excited for it? Did it suck, in your opinion? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. Ooh, boy, man. Project Triangle Strategy. All right, I gotta install it. Let's do this. Oh my god, my Joy-Con. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.